Hey, what is going on, you guys? My name is Rayge, and we are back today to share some extremely exciting news here on some upcoming X-Men reworks. We previously saw this information being shared late last year. We knew that, Xavier was also kind of teased in the splash art. Now we got some special confirmation here from Tana in his recent video posted with him being an Envoy exclusive, getting access to this information, but as well confirming for us now which of those 5 characters that are going to be rebuffed and as well revitalized in the game. So definitely some interesting choices that we'll talk about. But also, guys, first and foremost though, please check out his video as well. Huge credit to him for giving us this information and sharing it to the community. Always great when we have this insight beforehand so we can plan accordingly. Now, first and foremost, guys, if you recall, the Sinister 6 Superior 6 was one of the best reworks that was done in quite some time in 2023, right? Now, I'm hoping it's going to be the case for these characters that are upcoming for the X-Men. They're kind of a random mixture, to be honest, and we'll talk about each one of them, but it's also going to be interesting now because with the additional confirmation of these X-Men characters, there are some certain X-Men that we want to be mindful of when building up your roster, and especially if they're going to be treated kind of the same way that we see that Sinister 6, Superior 6 tandem, where you can slot them in different areas of the game, such as Crucible and War. And what this really does provide is an opportunity for theory crafting. Absolutely love it. It empowers players and as well folks that have obviously some of these X-Men already invested in it. It's gonna be huge. So first and foremost, huge shout out here. Phoenix has long been an overdue update that's need to be had. Her form and Dark Phoenix obviously getting shut down by Kestrel with the release, confirmed as one of the 5 characters. It's gonna be huge when she comes back into the meta, but as well as her value. I still actually brought her into Dark Dimension because her kit is still very good for Dark Dimension. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they change her up. The other item to be concerning with bringing up Phoenix is also because she does share astral energy with Apocalypse. So it's something we need to be mindful of. There's a lot of strong astral energy characters, but thankfully, Phoenix has been a long beloved character. It's great to see that she's confirmed as one of the 5, especially going forward, and that synergy with Xavier, obviously they're going to have immense value, but great to see that love coming back. Gambit is one of the reworked characters already, but I think he's going to have a very strong place in the game now, because even if you look at the way that he's going to be providing passives, right? His synergy with both Unlimited and Extreme X-Men, the fact that he actually gives, fellow X-Men allies 25% HP, he's going to be a character you want to focus on, but he's not part of the 5 that I want to talk about. I just want to point out and give a huge shout out to Gambit because of the fact that he's likely going to be that pseudo character, very similar to how we see with Superior 6 and Sinister, where you can slot them into different teams. Gambit's going to be a very important piece, especially with him and respectively the Extreme X-Men team being part of the Incursion raids right now. They're not going to be going away anytime soon. We have Cyclops here, also previously already reworked as an Extreme X-Men team, but I also want to point out the fact that, he has amazing synergy with Phoenix that we have confirmed here to be one of the reworked 5. He also grants focus for the rest of the X-Men characters, so I love how they kind of broaden their focus. He's not one of the 5 reworked, but I think Cyclops and as well as having both Gambit, they're going to be able to slot into different areas. They're going to be very important. Nightcrawler as well. His passive abilities being able to benefit a lot of Extreme X-Men, and similarly to X-Men allies getting that additional uptick in HP. These 3 are going to be very important, and that's why I wanted to point them out, especially where they are in the meta and being relatively cheap, but also be mindful of the mutant gear that you're taking advantage of. You may have to pick and choose because of all of them sharing the mutant gear and materials. It's definitely going to be tight for the 2024 year. Now, let's finally get into the other confirmed characters, guys. Jubilee is definitely one of them, with her being the 2nd legendary part of this rework. And it's funny because it's kind of similar to how Doghawk got that love, but Jubilee used to be the meta in terms of the raids, right? With her respective Astonishing X-Men team, and obviously fallen out of the place for quite some time. But she was best known for actually distributing her blinds, the fact that she actually has a stun and lots of crowd controlling aspect, being able to add that speed and turn meter to her fellow X-Men team. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they change this kit. They might even expand this beyond that addition, inclusion of Astonishing X-Men only. It could expand even further to just include X-Men allies, and adding a couple stat reworks, that would make her relevant again. And interestingly enough, her kit is actually really good if it was actually broadly applied to other X-Men characters outside of Astonishing. So for sure, I can see some versatility here. This would open up the teams to a multitude of different game modes, including War, as well as Crucible and Raids again. So for sure, I think Jubilee is actually kind of an X factor if they can expand that inclusion of different teams, and also with her being a pretty beloved character in the lore as well. We have Beast actually missing the reworks here. So we don't unfortunately have any kind of confirmed reworks for Beast, but the good news though is that with all these reworks happening, Beast's kit has always been really good. Maybe he's just one rework or one stat increase away from having that little different synergy. But if we know that confirmations are coming to characters like Phoenix as well as Jubilee, Beast's value naturally grows up because he's one of the main cleansers and healers on the X-Men team. So even though Beast is not confirmed yet as a rework, he potentially can still add value because of what he passively brings to other X-Men teams. And keep in mind, he's already been part of the Uncanny and Astonishing. It would not surprise me if he's also included potentially as a bonus character later on. Moving on to the other confirmed is Kitty Pryde. So I really like Kitty Pryde because of her synergy with Astonishing X-Men, and she does provide a lot of evasion and stealth for the team. Defense up, buff, supportive character. So again, kind of similar to Jubilee. If they expand her kit so that way it does apply outside of this Astonishing X-Men team, honestly, she just needs a couple of stat reworks here. Her kit's really good. It's just that, you know, statistically she was never really there, but she has a pretty decent usage in terms of offense down, invasion, natural protection with stealth. Maybe even adding some additional crowd controlling aspects to her kit would really put her over, but definitely a strong kit already. It's more so just expanding it beyond, again, that Astonishing X-Men tag and making it more versatile, and that way we can use her and her team in different game modes. Definitely a possibility for sure. We have Colossus, one of the big heavy protectors of the X-Men, being a confirmed rework as well. So Steel Form, obviously his passive gaining defense up. It makes no mistake here. If Phoenix is getting some much love, it's going to further expand the Colossus protecting Phoenix, giving up the natural protection here for the X-Men team. And again, kind of similar to what we've seen with these other X-Men teams, just applying to their specific, five-man team. Well, by expanding it, it's going to create a whole bunch of versatility, opportunities to theorycraft, really. And I'm actually surprised Magic wasn't one of the confirmed, but I mean, because Phoenix is included in this mix, Colossus has to be included for natural protection and obviously bolstering the team and giving them some much additional defense. And as you can see from all the characters I've listed so far, we don't really have a true tank, so it is nice that Colossus is one of the confirmed ones to give that natural protection and supportive capabilities. And then last but not least, this one was interesting. X-23 was also confirmed, and it's interesting because she's also the one that's kind of outside of all these different X-Men teams that we've seen, with her being classified as X-Force. So they might, reclass her out so that way it's more broader. But as well, I do want to say that X-23 is a very beloved character as well. She got a lot of love with independence, being able to self-sustain herself, natural evasions. Her kit, again, similar to some of these other X-Men characters, were really good. It's just not being able to apply that from a broader scale. So if she has additional synergies with this team, honestly, some stat reworks here and there, her kit overall was really good already, being able to inflict damage, the bleeds, and so forth, and as well, granting X-Force allies additional focus. So that might expand beyond that, giving some natural synergies to Wolverine. But yeah, those are the confirmed 5 guys. So just to recap as well, we have Phoenix, Jubilee, Kitty Pryde, Colossus, and X-23. And again, special shout out to Gambit, Cyclops, and Nightcrawler. These 3 are going to be absolute game changers in how you want to slot them in. I don't believe they're going to be leaving the meta anytime soon. And it will be also interesting to watch out for Beast. Can he also get that rework potentially as a bonus character? It's very possible based on the number of reworks that we saw with Sinister 6, where almost every character got a change. Definitely a possibility. Otherwise, guys, as for the other remaining X-Men, stay tuned. We'll keep you guys up to date, but they did say there were a lot of reworks coming, so it doesn't rule out any of these characters just yet, especially if they want to increase that versatility and being able to allow us theory crafting opportunities. So there you guys have it. Let me know what you think, comments below, if you guys agree or disagree, but these are some awesome choices so far. Again, special shout out to Tana. Thank you for bringing us the information to us. Thank you as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.